And if I turn it, see how far I gotta turn it before it starts to actually make the turn? Oh. Guess it was already loose. Welcome back, everybody. So today, on Rudy's mission to finish all of his projects, we're gonna go back on the Volkswagen bus. I made a video about I had a noise in the front end that got fixed, but I mentioned in there that the steering is a little wonky when you're driving it down the road or on the freeway. If you're going straight, it's not that big of a problem, but you know when you get those big swooping, overpass when you merge from one freeway to the next, it's pretty scary sometimes. There's a lot of play in the steering wheel. You can hold it, but then like a big rig passes by you and I'm only going 55 on the freeway and the whole bus does this thing and you're like trying to straighten it out. It can get kind of hairy. But I ended up finally finding a guy locally. Well, not locally, he delivered it to me. Let's see, big ups to Mike over in San Diego. He rebuilt my steering gear and he actually rebuilt it, internals and everything, not just gaskets. I had mentioned before that I had 3 steering gears and I took one to get rebuilt, and I think all they did was paint it and put some seals on it. So what we're gonna do right now, let's go out and drive it and I'll show you exactly what I'm talking about. And if you're driving it straight, it's not that big a problem. But if you see, oh, you saw that. So I'm going straight right now, and if I turn it, see how far I gotta turn it before it starts to actually make the turn? Look, I'm going straight, and look how much play is in my steering wheel. And that's like 2 or 3 inches of travel before the steering gear even engages itself. Just pretend that's like the center. That's how much it moves, and the wheels are still straight. Pretend you're on the freeway going 50 miles an hour and you're doing this sweeping turn. Now, see how much, look, and now it starts to turn. Hopefully you can see it, but as I was doing that turn, look how much the steering wheel moves and doesn't change the direction. So the replacement of the steering gear is pretty straightforward if you've ever done them. The only thing you want to make sure is obviously steering wheel is straight, your wheels or your tires are straight. So there is the culprit, and as you can see, it's very easy to replace. All we're gonna do is take our pitman arm off here, the steering rag joint, then there's just 3 bolts that hold it. 1, 2, 3. Go. So here's my new unit. Here's the old unit. This is the one I was telling you guys that I took to the rebuilder, and this is what I got back. He said he rebuilt it, but it still has a lot of play. But see, this one's like super tight right there. Like I'm trying to spin it and it's super tight. This one is so smooth. It's really, really smooth. See how I can just do it by hand? Now, it's not because this has just been rebuilt. It shouldn't have that tightness in it. It could spin it, but see how hard it takes? How much effort it takes? So there's obviously something wrong. That's why we're replacing it. Let's go ahead and throw the new one in, or the rebuilt one, and let's see how much improvement we get out of that steering wheel. Ooh. Can you see that line right here? That has to line up that line right there. So this, so this needs to go That should be center, and it's not. Why? And my steering wheel's not center either. Yep, we're gonna have to realign the whole thing, because this is not right. That right there is centered. Those two lines line up. But look at my steering wheel. This should not be this way, it should be this way. Originally, when I set this up, I'm sure it was off. And when I went to get it aligned, they aligned it to the setting it has now. Is I'm gonna pull the steering wheel off, because I'm pretty sure these aren't splined. And I'm gonna set it back to normal. If you look at my wheels, they're pointed in this direction. They're towed, well actually they're turning right. Once I get that to center, I'm gonna adjust the toe to straighten out the steering wheel. This drag link has a lot more slop than I thought it did. If you see all the movement. So I'm gonna go ahead and replace that ASAP. Look at that. Well guys, it's the next day. I didn't want to do that in the dark because I need to set the toe. And I don't have an alignment machine, so I'm gonna have to set it the quick and dirty way. I'm eventually gonna take it to get aligned, but also, so I had to go pick up this, my drag link. See? Nice and tight. Let's go ahead and install this, set the toe up, button it all up, and go drive it, see if we improved anything. Well, it already feels a whole lot better. Hardly any play in the steering wheel. The steering wheel is a little bit off because of the eyeball alignment I did in my driveway. Horn button works, but it feels 100 times better. Feels more stable, more drivable. In fact, I think we're gonna go to Bob's tonight. So this was the big test. It would handle worse on the freeway than it ever did on the street. No longer though, this steers straight, doesn't wander on the freeway. So glad I finally got around to it. Working. Bugs you. Well guys, we made it. Thanks again for joining me. Please like and subscribe if you're liking the content. I'll catch you guys on the next one.